religion. He says you got to fight for it, you have to defend it, you have to die for it, and you have to become a zealot. And I have a lot of similarities to Marc Ecko, and I grew up similar to Marc. I grew up in New Jersey, he grew up in Lakewood, I grew up in Centerville. I came from a Jewish household, he also grew up in a Jewish household, and he learned from his mentors, and his parents were very entrepreneurial, and he learned that from his mentors and his parents. He also was very interested in sneakers, interested in basketball growing up, in the hip-hop community. I'm also into basketball. Everyone probably knows that. I'm a big UMass basketball fan. I'm also very into sneakers. I have a pair of the black cement 3s, the Air Jordans. I don't know if people know that sneaker, but it's a very desirable sneaker. I just bought the 574 New Balance the other day. And I have a lot of similarities. I watched as his business grew, as my business grew. Marc was a very talented artist, and he actually had his own graffiti style. And I don't know if people have seen his shirts from years ago, but they were very, very creative. And he was also, of course, into hip-hop, and he was into the streetwear clothing. And he learned how to perfect his art. He eventually turned his graffiti making into making shirts. Then he actually mastered shirt making to try to get what's called the colors right. He obsessively went to the Lower East Side to a factory to learn color separation. Then he actually mastered Photoshop. Early on, when Photoshop was just starting, he used Photoshop to get something better on the shirts, and that's what's called your unfair advantage. And there's a section in my handout about the unfair advantage, and I ask that you read it later. And I too perfected my art. I trained under Kenny Weiner. Everyone knows that I trained under Kenny. He was a skilled and famous, he's actually now somewhat infamous criminal defense attorney in Middlesex County. At 27, I tried many jury trials. I tried jury trials in Middlesex, Monmouth, Union, Somerset, from beginning to the end. Got up in front, picked the jury, did my whole, presentation, cross, and got verdicts. I also handled many municipal court cases. I went all over the state in the time that I was, perfecting my art under Kenny Weiner. I perfected my craft, just as Marc did. Then my law practice and my brand grew. I originally had a small rented office in East Brunswick, and as I got more clients, I was able to get my current building in New Brunswick. Many of you have been there. Marc Ecko also was able to he started on Joyce Kilmer Avenue in New Brunswick. I don't know if people know that, but he started right on Joyce Kilmer Avenue. Then he was able to get a warehouse in South River, and he eventually had a flagship office in New York City. That was his goal. He had a big flagship office. And he built his business by networking and always promoting his brand. Him and his company, they built their hip-hop clothing line by doing a very big table at what's called Magic. If people don't know, but years ago, Vegas used to have an event called Magic. And it was the first and only hip-hop, streetwear, sportswear event for companies all over the country. And he was famous for doing a big table at Magic. And his logo was the rhino. It's the red and white mark. I don't know if you know that, but this was the mark. And he put this logo everywhere. And he built it up, and he used it to create a fashion lifestyle brand. And it's now a global brand. They did, in 2009, they did $1 billion in sales. I also do marketing in my law practice. Every year I do a car, truck, and bike show, a basketball tournament in Plainfield. I've done it for the last 7 years. An event is done, it's to raise money for scholarships for high school children in Plainfield. It's for the memory of a friend of mine, Jabbar Jones. His cousin was killed on a basketball court about 20 years ago, unnecessarily, of course, and he was shot. And so it's a memory of him. They've been doing it for 20 years. I want to thank Alejandra, who helped me this year. Very appreciative. She did a great job. And also my fraternity guys, the Rutgers Sammies, they did a great job helping me out. What we did was we handed out giveaways. We handed out the matchbooks, which of course everyone has. And we handed out other items, which if you come over to me later, I'll give you some of my other special items. I also want to mention to you, at the convention, I used John Taylor's sign that he made for us. He made a great sign. And I think it's also important that when people come over, you get their information, you interact with them. And that's how to build your brand. And I really enjoy that, and I enjoy building my brand. We received some clothing line from the event. I'm just going to put it on, show you guys. This was a logo that was made at the event, and I actually have a jersey also. But we received some clothing from the event. And coincidentally, my cousin did this clothing line. So Marc was great at street teaming or guerrilla marketing also. He used to have teams go out and put his Rhino logo everywhere. First he did it by spraying a stencil, and then he actually made a sticker. And I said he started in New Brunswick. I remember seeing those Rhino logos all over New Brunswick and Rutgers when he first started. I thought this idea was so innovative that I recently did something similar. I got the RutgersLawyer.com website, I put it on stickers, and I had a street team. If you could notice in the packet, I had some street teaming done. And it's all over Easton Avenue, all over George Street, of course, in legal places. And I ask if you guys want to put that out there and promote my brand, that would be great. Places you think would be good, legal places. Put the sticker out there. It's in Asbury. If you guys, Rich, Nicole, it's down in Asbury. If you want to see it, you'll see it. And if you see it, take a picture. So Marc recently went through some tough times with his business. His book discusses how Tommy Hilfiger was going to buy the business. And what ended up happening was a third party bought the business. He's now a paid consultant for Ecko. I do want to just talk about some other things. He started Complex Media recently. It's about 110 websites. It's a fashion, entertainment, and product trend maker. He generates more than 700 million page views and 70 million unique visits a month. And he was also now more involved with streetwear. He's now on the Council of Fashion Designers of America. So he's still successful. And I had some personal connections to his company. I and a paralegal, we worked for the purchase of his partner, Seth Greensburg's house in Highland Park years ago. And my brother-in-law actually did some design work for him when he was on Joyce Kilmer. They shared an office. So I kind of watched him grow. I also wanted to mention that his sister had Zoo York, which was another streetwear brand, and they built that up. It was really featured a lot on Entourage. So as an owner of a brand, you must be aware of where the business comes from. Does it come from former clients? Does it come from another attorney? Does it come from websites? Does it come from giveaways? Unlabel is about creating your own art and executing on that art. That's actually a quote by George Lucas, so it's on the cover of the book. And this is what I do every day for clients. I create a brand that people can be proud of. I want them to say in court, that is my lawyer. I want them to know that I'm a fighter, not a handshaker. Communication is very important when I'm in court with briefs and arguments. I want them to be proud. I show professionalism when I'm in court. I show professionalism to the staff. Even how I dress in court and how I dress with clients is important. I'm proud to announce I'm moving to a new building just around the corner. Something bigger. It was an offer I couldn't refuse. It's at 142 Livingston Avenue. And I hope that you guys send me more business and you can see how good a lawyer I am so I can continue to expand. I also recommend you read Unlabel, Selling You Without Selling Out, and that's how I live my life and my law practice. Of course, what I do is I keep people out of jail, I keep people from losing their license, I keep people from avoiding a criminal record. And I think I do it very well, and I think I really am able to promote the brand. And I just wanted to share that with you today.
Awesome, good.
Wow.